I did have students working in Minecraft this week. And here's one of my favorite Minecraft screen captures that I got over a week ago. Yeah, Jazz go, yeah. All right. I do encourage my students to use and basically what I asked them to do over the last couple of weeks is design a moon colony in Minecraft. They could do it. We did one in 3D Web Worlds, or we did one. I said just draw a picture of it if you really want to go old school like that. But this was done by Chris Brown. He's a senior at my school, and he really got into it. Designed the colony. He sent me pictures of he's got corridors and he's got residence, storage rooms. Like I said, I could share out for those of you that want to see it. I know why you do. I could share some of his things. But I thought he did a really good job. And that's one of the things I'd like to see more of. This morning I started off my day talking to the new tech folks, and I said, yeah, I will. I started off saying, I like the idea of project-based learning. I mean, when I was a teenager or a young child, my father used to take my brother and me in the basement, and we just built stuff. On Saturdays, we built birdhouses, we built go-karts, I remember, and we took them outside. It was so much fun that we had doing this, and it was cheap. We used scrap wood and so on. But I said, in the 21st century, you guys should think about digital project-based learning. Whether it's Minecraft, 3D Web Worlds, or I even got a Mac and new tech, and I loaded Blender on it. I said, some of you might want to consider going into Blender or 3ds Max, because those are real power tools. Unfortunately, they don't run on these Chromebooks, and that is a concern I've shared with other educators, that we've gone cheap with today's students. And those Chromebooks are good if you want to do a Meet or a Zoom, or you want to do a multiple choice test in Canvas, great. But if the focus is on student creativity, aside from 3D Web Worlds, there's not a whole lot that you can do with them. And Esther says Blender is better than 3ds Max because there are tons of tutorials on YouTube. That's true. I mean, there is a lot of support for Blender. I would suspect that there's a lot of tutorials on 3ds Max as well. I gotta be honest, I started with 3ds Max because I was a teacher and I could download it for free. And then a lot of my friends said, nah, try Blender because it's open source and anybody can get to it. Yvonne Devandy, who runs 3D Web Worlds, that's all she does is Blender. And over this break, I got a crash course in Blender. It was like, she goes, oh, you want to play with dinosaurs? I'll show you how to play with dinosaurs. And she's going in. It turns out, if you really carefully look at the dinosaurs that I had on the last one, they're animated. And she said what they're doing now with these 3D models is they're not just mesh like we have on iOS. There are bones inside of these 3D models. And if you click on the bones and then you go into the animation tools in Blender, you can actually animate your animals just like they were living organisms and control the way the bones move. And then that controls the way the skin and the mesh moves. And she showed me some simple things. And I was having the head of the acro moving, its teeth moving, and and the head of the ankylosaur moving. It was just so cool. And I know educators tend to shy away from Blender and 3ds Max and so on. And I think that's a shame because, yeah, it is complicated, but there's some simple, fast, really cool things you can do with these modeling programs. And I've just gone for a half an hour. Does anybody have any questions about my presentation or about, about other things? Astra, I can tell, is a technician. Awesome. You're right. I am a huge fan of GIMP. I've used that. I get a lot of mileage out of MS Paint, I'll be honest. I started off with that, and then I went into GIMP. And you're right, a lot of videos on how to use GIMP. And I tried getting a subscription to Photoshop and gave up. It just made no sense to be all this layering and stuff. So I'm with you, Astra. If I have anything to do in terms of 2D graphics, I'll either do it in Paint, or if I need a little more firepower, I go into GIMP. And I find that mostly what I need, I can do there. Any other questions, comments? Linkscape. Wait a minute. Put my son. Inkscape. That's one I haven't heard of. Go ahead. Can you tell us a little bit about Inkscape? Maria says, I'd like to see the moon colony. All right. Which moon colony? Are you talking about the one in on Minecraft? That I don't have any control of. That was done by a student, and I don't know whether that was done on, Minecraft. You can either play it offline or online. And I don't know if that's an online one. That's the thing that I've tried to encourage students to do is if you build in 3D web worlds, I could just send you that link and boom, you're in. I mean, you don't need an account, no download, and you can go right in to some of this. I've got a moon colony that one of my students did in 3D web worlds. I think that's public. You go in, I'm not sure. But like I said, the Minecraft one, all I saw was the student sent me some screenshots. And unfortunately, I didn't have as much time. I had more screenshots. And I should have known you guys were going to be interested in that. Come back next month, and I'll put more of them in a slide projector, and I'll show you some more work that my students have been doing. Today was one of those rush. This afternoon, I was proctoring an SOL test, and then I got home, and I had to quickly grab some dinner. And I've got there's actually a school board meeting going on tonight. I was trying to look into that. But I'll try and put some more of my Minecraft stuff in slide projector for next month. Astrid, do you want to say more about Inkscape? Do you have a website on that? Share. Because that's one I've never heard of. And feel free to turn your mic on. She says it's like Photoshop. I'm not surprised that there are other 2D texturing tools that are out there. Oh, there we go. All right, I don't have a notification list. We normally meet the second Monday of every month. So if you just log in about this time, then and join the Visti group, then you'll get the information. Yeah, feel free. We do not, we're welcome to everyone at this group. We do not. I joke. We do not check driver's licenses when you come in the entrance to our sandbox. We don't even require that you be an educator. And one of the things that it's very clear is we've got some people here that we got some people here that are either current educators or past educators in Virginia. But I'm glad we're getting some people in here that have some technical background as well. One of the things that I've mentioned at real life ISTE meetings, there was a keynote speaker got up and said, we need to have like a social media way for teachers to get together. And she was promoting almost like a Match.com for educators, and not in the romantic sense like you think of Match.com. She was saying in the sense of, what if you're a third grade teacher and you want to get together with other third grade teachers that teach science? And that was her whole thing. And I think she was doing it on Twitter. I don't remember. But she was using social media to promote these collaborations. And I went up to her afterwards and I said, I absolutely agree with you that we need to get teachers working together and collaborating together. But I think you also need to include technicians in your meetups. Right, Astra put in meetup.com. Because that's the one thing that I've found that's really nice about Second Life is, this is such a huge community that I've been fortunate to meet not only other educators, but other technicians. And I think of the other people that I've run into here, like Cindy Valero, and others that are on here that are doing really cool things with technology. Sort of Second Life has been a hub for all these other online communities. You got Kitely and OpenSim and so on. And it's a great way to network and then sort of branch out from there. So absolutely, I'd like you to come and share your information. And what I'd like you to do is, it's great to see, I'm going to be honest, when I put this together, I thought we'd get, I expect to see Beth and Jazz and Thunder here. We've had a number of different meetings, and usually there's like 4 people that show up. And I'm looking around, we've got 8, and we have a little bit of time here. If you want to type something, we usually go for an hour. If you want to type something in local chat and say a little bit about yourself or what you're interested, or even if you want to turn your mic on and say a little bit about yourself, about, what you do on Second Life or what your interests are, please feel free to do so, because I'd like to know a little bit more about you. I'm a research associate at the Virginia Museum of Natural History and the vice chair of the PLN. We have some more if you wouldn't mind. And I know some people are very protective of their privacy. Like I said, you don't have to give out real life information here. We do protect your privacy, but if you'd just like to say something about what your interests are in Second Life, or what your interest in technology is, that would be, I think, interesting.